back. It is a TOS night here on First Reaction. Wonder why that might be. I don't know. So, I'm looking forward to having or getting your thoughts on this episode. This was episode 13 of Prodigy Season 1, and that is, okay, lay down. And that is All the World is a Stage, written by our good friend Aaron Waltke. So that's awesome. Looks like we've got some super chats here, so let's just get right to it. Grant McGregor, $5. I have a feeling in the writer's room they wanted to get Janeway to say cowboy diplomacy, but couldn't get it to fit. Possibly. Grant McGregor throws in $10, so thank you. Only problem I had was that I couldn't suspend my disbelief with the warp plasma. It would have phase change into a solid, or gas or solid, a room temp and stable plasma would be a recton to explain it. I think you mean retcon. Grant McGregor, $5, but I have to say, science Trek side of me itches. Writing Trek side of me loved it. Olivia throws in $5. My goodness, that guy got annoying after a while. And Olivia again, another $5. Thank you so much, guys. Been practicing with props as controls. Equals knowledge of how to work a starship. Yes. So, hello everybody. Live, log, and prosper. I can't do this. I couldn't do this for most of my life when I was young. I had to train my fingers to do this, so they can't switch to the other thing. Sylvia can just go back and forth. It's freaking weird. So there you go. Captain Casey Stewart, member for 4 months at the rank of Commander. Thank you so much, Commander. This light is too low. And hold on, I gotta fix that. Says, enjoyed the episode, especially the bridge. Oh, the bridge was cool. And the funny thing about that is my Foley class, and this has been a thing for years. My Foley class, because of when it was built, which is a long story in and of itself. Sure, it appears like a TOS ship on the outside, but it's actually not. It's kind of like post-Nemesis ship build, but it appears to be a TOS ship. It's not. And the panels on the bridge can look TOS, they can look whatever because of the holographic configurable panels. And they used it. They actually put that in here. So it's actually canon now. Something that I've been talking about with the Foley class for a while now. So it just blew my mind. I was like, well, now every time I say that, everybody's going to think I ripped it off for Prodigy. Oh, well. Let's see. Everybody's here. Awesome, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We've got 33 people here, and I can't tell how many likes because I got a goddamn message pop up. 20 likes. There you go. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 30 at least. Olivia throws in $5. Sorry, but what happens when you lose power to the holographic consoles? They revert back to the regular consoles, which would have also lost power. So either way, you've got a dead console. Fleet Paw Swiftback throws in, remember, for 32 months at the rank of Captain. 32 months is a long time, my friend. You deserve a raise or promotion or something. Will you get it? I mean, time will tell. He says, I like this one. Sure, the impression of the TOS crew were a little over the top, but it was a freaking amazeballs. Love the TOS bridge holo layover. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. These guys are kind of retro, so is there anything you can, do to spice things up? I thought that was great. Enson Garovic let out the joyful cry when I hear that. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, David Garevic, or Ensign Garevic, was from the TOS episode Obsession, with his, which is about the gas cloud, the fog cloud that kills people. When Kirk was serving as a lieutenant aboard the Farragut, under the command of Captain Garrett, or Captain, not Garrett, Captain, I just lost his name, god damn it. Garevic, that's it. Captain Garevic, he blames himself for getting the captain killed, because he hesitated. So in Obsession, Ensign Garevic shows up on the Enterprise, and Kirk gives him shit, confines him to his quarters, blames himself for the death of this guy's dad. So that is him. That is the same Garevic. So there you go. Nice little tie-in. I wasn't sure. I looked it up, and they've already updated like the memory alpha thing for it. So it describes in detail that he went on a solo mission, and this is what happened. So cool. Aaron Walke doesn't disappoint when he writes an episode. That's very true. That character that talked in the William Shatner style was hilarious. Yes, he was. It was pretty great. Olivia wanted me to do the whole live like this. I don't think that would be practical. I don't know. I just don't think that would be practical. I can read some certain super chats like that if you guys would like that. But I think it would be kind of ridiculous. Had no idea the Galileo was lost. No, well, now you did. You do. It's weird because the Galileo 7, which in the episode Galileo 7 got destroyed. So you think they would maybe renumber it? A lot of people had issues that it had warp plasma at all or a warp drive. I didn't. I honestly always thought that the Type F shuttles from TOS had warp capability, albeit limited. Maybe short range, maybe only so much antimatter for like short flights, and only low warp. Maybe up to warp 3 or something like that. So I've always thought that in my headcanon. I wrote a script for a data file, a Trekyards data file on the Type F, where I put that in. That was filmed. I was looking for it today. I thought we had released it. Apparently we haven't. So anyway, yeah. Yes, the plasma leaking for 100 years to create that big puddle is a little bit, but you could say that it comes in contact with something in the cave that allowed it to stay liquid and actually expand. Who knows? The only issue I have, honestly, is it was 100 years sitting there, and the day they show up is the day that one drop hits, causes this big, spray up of plasma, which hits the shuttle and shakes it loose to the point where it's going to tip over. If they had been 1 day later arriving, then, yeah, they wouldn't have seen it. So, and it's funny because when they had said gallows, just with the naming conventions of everything else in this episode, I was like, gallows? Could it be Galileo? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't be the Galileo. Sure enough, it is the Galileo. So, this is a fantastic episode. This was really fun. A nice little walk down memory lane. Seeing TOS correctly represented. This was Prodigy's love letter to TOS. We've had their love letter to TNG already with the Kobayashi Maru scenario on the Enterprise D bridge. And this was the TOS, and it was perfectly shown. Exactly like it should have been. Exactly like it was shown in DS9 Trials and Tribulations. Exactly how it was shown in Enterprises in Amir Darkly Part 1 and 2. Exactly how TOS should look. TOS, it's a period piece. So thank you. They didn't use any of the reimagined, revisualized Strange New Worlds. They didn't use any of that. And they could have very easily. They didn't, and I really appreciate that. Again, doing a fantastic job, Prodigy guys, so thank you. We should probably talk about the Janeway stuff at the beginning. It was very quick, but it was important. The diviners, basically saying that, these kids kidnapped his daughter, and Chakotay was thrown in prison. Didn't say by who or by whom. It was him. And then we also get Frex. Barnes Frex. His escape pod is found. Apparently, it was intercepted by an unknown alien, and he was rescued. So they're on the trail of that. So they're going to find him. He's going to tell them everything that happened, and his interpretation of things is bad as well because he thinks that the kids are responsible for destroying his relay station. So at least that's addressed as well. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. But that was just it. That was the quick little thing there. And of course, the Murph part. Murph is feeling ill, and Rock stays on board to take care of him. And yeah, starts metamorphosizing. Metamorphosizing, get it? Turns into a cocoon, and who knows what's going to come out of that. Although we do, because we had uncovered it in one of the trailers. And we showed it on a live. So, yeah. But this episode was really fun. This was a nice walk down memory lane. As Aaron Waltke had said, because we asked him when we talked to him last, what are you most looking forward to in these next 10 episodes? And he said, a spiritual successor to a piece of the action. And that's exactly what this is. And it's great. It's great. And you got to think, too, that depending how long Gary Vick was there, which you got to assume is quite a while waiting for rescue. Didn't say how long, unfortunately. It could have been a couple weeks. He could have been injured and died from his injuries or whatever. But they had phasers aboard the ship. They had other things aboard the shuttle, which they could have got out before the plasma leak got bad and started causing the illness. Plus, the inside of the ship looked a little bit cannibalized. So it could be that they used some of that tech and stuff to recreate, because they had a helm console where they could do training exercises and watch the video on the view screen of how to operate the ship, that kind of stuff. So no real issues with that. I thought it was very cool. Some of the names, like Sulu, and Captain, or James T, and Boone, Dr. Boone's, Hoorah, Cadet Hoorah, all very interesting. And I love that they were also practicing Kirk Fu. I mean, yes, please. And it just be that Garvik was there long enough to tell them stories. Maybe he accessed. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised that we didn't see a tricorder, because a tricorder would have made a perfect sense in this scenario, because it could have been used to relay information to them. But no tricorder. We did see a TOS phaser. We did see a TOS communicator. And you got to assume there's a few of those at least. The shuttle probably has like 6 to 8 in a storage thing of each. I don't know why Garrick would have gone on a solo rescue mission in the shuttle, but hey, and the fact that the Enterprise never found it, kind of an important shuttle to not bother to look for. So yeah, there's a few little things which, when we talk to Aaron again, we're definitely going to be asking him about. But overall, man, this was just a fantastic, fun episode. I really, really enjoyed this one. And seeing the TOS bridge and the captain's chair and everything was great. Now, if you notice, too, the chair wasn't where it was supposed to be. That's just because those two panels at the back were what they needed to be. One was engineering, and the other one was who knows what. But the one behind him should have been communications, and it should have been directly behind the captain's chair. But considering they were reconfiguring it for what they needed, it's fine. So, I mean, there's that. So, there you go. But yeah. They did use the original communicator in the play, Ozzy. That's what I said. And I love that 100 years later that these things are still working. Like the phaser could still stun Jank and Pog. The communicator still did the beep. So that speaks to the longevity of the Starfleet tech, or the Starflight tech. Terry West says, "Cap, is this the original Galileo? I'm confused. I thought it was lost in the Galileo 7. It was, but they replaced the Galileo. So, yeah, I I was surprised to see the number 7 on it. You think if they replaced the Galileo, they would have put another number on it, or the 7A or some shit. But there was nothing like that. Yes, the Galileo 7 was lost in the episode The Galileo 7, but it was replaced. There was another Galileo. That's always been a known fact. They named another shuttle Galileo. They did the same thing with the Delta Flyer. When the Delta Flyer got lost, they had the Delta Flyer 2. They did the same thing with the Defiant. You know, they renamed the Sao Paulo to the, you know, it got a special dispensation to be called the Defiant. You know, so there are precedents for that. And wasn't it the Galileo 2, though? Yeah, it should have been. That's one of the little niggles that I need to talk to Aaron about, because it should have been Galileo 2, because it actually was called Galileo 2. The number was the same, but it did say Galileo 2 on the front. So, yeah, that is a little bit of a problem. But anyway, 'tis fine. Another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was the uniforms with the very crooked deltas. Why? I mean, they're very reminiscent of the animated series ones with the kind of angle they were on. And if they were going strictly from memory for the uniforms, I would understand it. But they actually had Garavic's uniform on the wall with a phaser, and the delta was correct. It was straight. So they know how to make it look, but they chose not to. They made it different enough, I guess. So I kind of bugged me a little bit. And the mispronunciation of the names also, it's like, it's only 100 years. Then you look at, you just say it's only 100 years and it's only a couple generations, they wouldn't forget necessarily. But then you got to think, you know, 100 years from today is, you know, whatever it is, 1922. My brain all of a sudden melted. Yeah, 1922, and it was like right after World War One, and it's like, yeah, I can understand how things can maybe get a little skewed. So, you know, it's all right. It's all right. I kind of love Dal's reaction to, like, Jenkum's like, oh, they're just pretending to be Starfleet. These guys are all just, you know, wannabes. And Dal's like, yeah, kind of like us. You know what I'm saying? One thing I don't know if I liked is the ending where he said, even if we have to, you know, we can't contact Starfleet, but we can do it without the protostar. So are they going to get rid of the protostar? I don't know. I'm hoping that they actually have to return here to use this old Federation tech, because we've got the old TOS communicators which still work. You know, they still have a Starfleet or a Federation signature to them when a communications burst is sent out. So that could be a way to contact Janeway without corrupting her ship. They would get an incoming hail. It would show a Starfleet frequency, but like 100-year-old Starfleet frequency. You know, I want Janeway to get the information. I don't want her thinking these kids are, you know, bad guys for the whole thing. I think that'll just be annoying and get very irritating to me very quickly, and I don't want that. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Matt Boardman says, maybe they were limited by their own dialect, even though we heard them speaking Earth Standard. Perhaps it was something in their biology that kept them from saying the names right. Could be, yeah. Stern von Alk says the uniform on the wall is a beyond uniform, not a true TOS tunic. Yeah, we noticed that as well, and we hated it. It's like, just get the neckline right. You got everything else right. The communicator, the phaser. The phaser looks a little bit bulky in some of the pictures, or the screen grabs we have. We have videos coming out about that, obviously, where we compare it. It looks more like the adventure set from the 70s with the more bulky looking phaser. Not quite accurate. But other than that, all the details are the same, except there's no dial on the back of this phaser. The rear dial on the top is missing. So the phasers aren't quite the same, but the communicator's spot on, perfect. So, yeah. Kirk Julian is named after him. James Leonard Akar And now James T. Yes. Smart Smears. I think that Janeway is going to end up at the fake Starfleet people, and they will make her realize the kids are good guys. I would love that. Dow and his crew now steal the Dauntless after trashing the Protostar. Tara, did I miss? How could they replace the bridge with holographic consoles? How did a Galileo shuttle end up in the Delta Quadrant? Well, first of all, Tara, we don't know exactly where this is. This is probably skirting the edges of the Alpha and Delta quadrants. It's probably near the border because they were just at the relay station, which was not, it was the furthest out at that time. In TOS, their mission was exploration. They just headed in a direction and went pretty far. So who knows where it is? It's not in the Delta Quadrant. If it is, it's very close to our area of space. So that's a tough one as well. That's another one we're going to have to talk to Aaron about. But yeah, because Janeway did say nobody's visited here for 100 years. So somebody did visit. It was obviously the Enterprise. So yeah. Let's see. And how do you replace the bridge consoles with holographic controls? That's easy. Holographic emitters. Like I said, the ship that I designed has the same thing. You can reconfigure the panels of any station to look exactly as you want. If you want TOS, you can have TOS. If you want movie era, you can do movie era. Whatever works best for you. All you have to do is reconfigure. See, there are physical panels on the ship, physical consoles. But if you look where the hologram appears, it actually appears, because there's two stations behind the captain's chair. Okay, there's two stations right behind the captain's chair. So the holographic display comes up like right where those are. So all the computer would do is tie those systems directly into the controls for the holographic display. And the holographic display is basically sitting right on top of those consoles. Yes, they're facing a different direction, but it doesn't matter because they're all integrated and hooked up properly as they should be. Same with the helm display, the helm console. There's two separate consoles up front. It just created a holographic one in the middle. And if you look, when they show the scene of the aliens from the side, the Enterprisians, or whatever they're called, Enderprisians is what they're called. When you see a shot of them from the side at the end, you can actually see the other console that's still there. So it just created a holographic one in the middle, and then would have tied all the instrumentation into the panel. And I have no problems with that at all. No problems with that at all. It's advanced tech. This ship probably has holo emitters all over the ship, as we know it does because of Janeway's hologram. So no real problem there. So, yeah. There are a lot of questions, but there are also a lot of answers. And much like with the Borg, where we had a lot of questions, when we talked to Aaron, we got all the answers that they couldn't include in the show. So it'll be the same thing here when we finally talk to Aaron about this episode, which he wrote. We will get the answers to those questions. And I'm very much looking forward to that discussion because this is probably my favorite episode of Prodigy so far. Yes, it's because I'm a TOS fanboy. And yes, it's because the TOS looks exactly like it should. All the consoles, displays, buttons. Actually, the buttons. Here we go. Everybody says, well, you can't use the 1960s Enterprise bridge. It looks too stupid with those jelly bean buttons. No one would buy that. I've been saying for years, all you got to do is make a flat black surface, and when it fires up, just have a little blink, and a little light pop up, a little tactile hologram that floats like that far above the black panel, and it just glows in the same colors, the red, the greens, the blues. And if you look at the consoles on this one, when they're pushing the buttons don't stick up as far as the TOS did. They're much slimmed down, but they look exactly the same. And that's how you modernize and update the TOS look and have it work. You don't have to worry about it not looking like people will buy it and it's not futuristic enough. It is. It 100% is. It's a visual update and it works fine. Red alarm. Red alert or red alarm. Can we assume Garvik is from Kelvinverse because of the uniform and somehow absconded with the Type F shuttle from Prime Timeline and renamed it to Galileo? No, I would not assume that at all. Did I see a Kelvin Universe red uniform hanging in on the doctor's wall? The collar, yes, but the patterning was not Kelvin. There was no deltas all over the fucking shirt to make the delta patterns all over it. Wasn't there. So it's a weird anomaly. They just got the collar wrong for some reason, which is incredibly stupid. So, Tara, I wasn't concerned about hollow emitters. I was concerned about what happened to the physical panels, that they were already, but now I see I could be a cover shell candy. Exactly, yes. And like the original side-by-side helm console that materialized was directly between the other two consoles, because you can see the other consoles in other shots. So yeah, the physical consoles never went anywhere. So Eric Martin, $5. Live logs and proper cap. Thank you. This is going to be a thing now. Just like red alarm for years till the end of time. People are going to be saying live log and proper. Thanks, Aaron. I need to open a drink. And today I have seltzer pineapple lemonade from Smirnoff. Thanks to Eric Martin, who's actually in the chat right now. So thank you, Eric. This is my second last one. I got one more left. I'm aware they weren't Kelvin, Sergeant Montgomery. All right. I had fun watching New Prodigy. Good. Stern Von Alk, TOS, raglan sleeves, beyond, capped sleeves. Shirt on wall has capped sleeves. I know. Thank you. Also, the collar is Kelvin. However, the fabric isn't. We get a nice close-up of the fabric and the patch, and neither one is Kelvin. So it's a weird anomaly, as I've said. I don't know how to explain it. That's going to be an Aaron question, and his take will probably be, I wrote it. That's what the visual effects people did, for whatever reason, because I don't think he has much power over what the visual effects people do necessarily. So... live log and proper. Thank you, Tara. It's the wrong symbol though, although they did get it right, and I can't do that. It took me forever and years to train my hand to do the Vulcan salute, and I cannot do this one. What's your favorite Smirnoff flavor, says Eric. Honestly, the blue raspberry or the peach. Oh, Sergeant Montgomery's talking to the chat, not me. Okay. Sorry, I get a little defensive sometimes. Terry West says, I thought that perhaps the shuttle and Garavik came from a period after TOS. Maybe there might have been another uniform update prior to when the Enterprise went in for her refit. And that's perfectly plausible. Perfectly plausible. Although, according to Memory Alpha, this mission launched sometime between season, or around the end of season 2, beginning of season 3. So that almost doesn't jive. However, if it was in season 4 or 5 of their 5-year mission, perfect. Yes, another uniform. Just what we need, another uniform. Looks like Avalon Universe to me. Yeah, I suppose. Tara, $2. Thank you, Tara. Thanks for answering my questions. Anytime. Mark says, I could never do a proper Vulcan salute, but I can do this one. Yeah, I can't do this one. So, Tony says, I love the inverted Vulcan salute, which has been associated with the University of Washington, Seattle. Go Dogs. Terry West, agreed, Cap, just what we need, the uniform, LOL. Joseph Barbato, Peach Crown Royal. I didn't bring the Crown Royal up tonight, so no paying for shots tonight. But still, if you want to throw me $20 super chat, I will not complain, and I'll have a shot afterwards. Tara says that she can do all of the salutes. She needs a gold star. Well, anybody throw a gold star in the chat for Tara. I can't. Well, I can actually. Hold on. I just gotta find it, and then I just gotta stop talking to you. Where is it here? There's the emojis. Keyboard, emojis. Where's the star? Where's the star? I know there's a star in here. I gotta search through all the emojis now. There you go, Tara. You got a bunch of gold stars for being awesome. Mark Lawrence, $10. Just saying hi, hanging out at my mom's house on my birthday. This was a fun episode. I love the proper looking TOS tech. It keeps Prodigy overstranging worlds for me. Yes, and happy birthday, by the way, Mark. I did see early this morning that it was your birthday, and I was going to shoot you a message, but I got really busy today, obviously, with this episode and a lot of stuff I had to do, and I kind of forgot about it. So I'm glad you reminded me. Happy birthday, Mr. President Mark Lawrence. I should sing you happy birthday like Marilyn Monroe to JFK. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Boop boop be doop. That was terrifying, and I apologize to everyone out there for having to listen to it. But he is a Federation president on our channel here, a longtime member, good friend of ours, and one of the most reliable Trekyards followers I've ever met. So thank you, Mark, and happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Ooh, didn't think about a field uniform. Could have been a dress variant. That's also great. Tara, I love the green face makeup, though, and with my sewing skills, I might be able to create one of those Franken uniforms. I wonder if the Enterprisian village was another Crash Federation ship or just fabricated to look like a Federation ship. Hard to say. I assume they already had tech of some kind, just not advanced tech. So Mark said, no problem, was busy myself. Very good to hear. Hope you had a good day. Jasper Jedi says, I may never get over this. Over what? Eric Martin says, okay, that song was disturbing. Tara said that was super sexy, Captain. Oh, good God. Well, you see now apparently you're blind and deaf, so I'm going to take away all your gold stars, Tara. But thank you. So yeah, so much to talk about in this episode. You guys got to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon will be our edited review of this one, and then at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be our full breakdown review. It'll probably be longer. Oh, sarcasm. Thanks, Tara. Oy. So tomorrow's live review might be a little bit longer because there is so much to talk about in this one. However, fear not, we have some edited reviews coming out this weekend and probably most days next week. There's so much to talk about visually in this episode that we want to dedicate time to it. Plus, we'll be doing a live or two next week discussing the return of TOS to New Trek properly. Because we haven't seen like classic TOS since like 2004-ish, whenever Enterprise and Amir Darkly aired. So yeah, I mean, we'll have lives about this stuff, and there'll be breakdown videos. There'll be a video every day on the weekend, obviously, as well as ones during the week. So. Good night, Mark. Have fun at your mom's. Fleet Pass Swift back throws in $20. Never, ever sing again. For the love of Pike, please. LOL. Or should I do that like James T? Never, ever sing again. For the love of Pike, please. I'm getting demoted. No, you're not. Jasper Jedi, at least not that song like that. LOL. I could have done you guys a kiss too. And I did anyway, so. Terry West, I'm loving all the TOS references in Prodigy. Hell yes. I'm scared Murph isn't isn't going to be insanely cute anymore, is he going to become a butterfly? No, he becomes like a little bipedal person dude with a big head. Brandon Carell, I'm going to record that to play for anyone's birthday to go from now on. Please, for the love of Christ, don't. For the sake of them, as well as anyone that may overhear it, and for me, because, you know, it's embarrassing, but I love you guys. So, speaking of, there's 56 of you here with 44 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's try to get up to 50. If you haven't hit that like button, why not? Give it a tap. And look. Ha. Wait, you know what Murphy's going to look like? Tara, you're fairly new to the channel, so when we did the breakdown of the sneak peeks we got of Prodigy from New York Comic Con and whatever the other one was, there's one frame when we're doing our live review of the sneak peek. There's one frame where I noticed in the background of the bridge a little guy that looks like a little basic person with a big head that was the same color as Murph. It was like blink and you'll miss it, 1.5, maybe 2 frames. And we got it on the show and we discovered it on the air. So yeah, we think we know what he's going to look like. So the TOS reference in Prodigy as well. Live, log, and proper. Oh, that'll never get old. That's already old. That's already old. Hashtag already done with it. Jeez. Tara, $7. Those other guys made me feel cheap. What? I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Matt Boardman, I love the imagery of the Bizards looking like glowing eyes in that cavern. Sergeant Montgomery, this could have been an episode of Lower Decks. Yes. Tara, wow, yeah. Newbie asking tons of questions. It's all good. That's why I've been answering your questions. I want you to feel welcome here. Sergeant Montgomery says, I am Murph. So there you go. It's going to be like, I am Groot. Matt Boardman, not at all. We appreciate any super chats that you can provide. Never expected, but always appreciated. Can we get a salute for the Galileo? LOL, I felt like I lost my best horse. I know. Tomorrow's Remembrance Day, so keep Galileo in your thoughts tomorrow for Remembrance Day, everybody. There you go. That's the one thing that really bothers me about this episode. It's that timing. It's the coinky-dinkiness of it, that thing was sitting there for 100 goddamn years, and the day that they show up is the day that one geyser of warp plasma knocks it loose enough that it starts to fall. Literally, if they had showed up a day later, it had been gone. They would never have learned what the gallows was. But that's storytelling for you. I thought they said lift, log, and proper. No, they said live, log, and proper. Tara says only sent $2. You say that, but that says Tara $7. So I don't know what happened. Gene Iwaski Jr., yeah, that's an interesting concept to always be projecting a holographic surface to work on. Not the most efficient way to run a starship. Fleet Pass Swiftback, I think that's my line. That's my line, friend. I think that's my line, stranger. Oh, forgive. I hear I'm new, but you are known being McCoy from Enterprise. Message received. Available ship stands by. I find myself saying that a lot on these chats. Was I the only guy who Googled Ensign Garabek? Or did some of you guys remember Obsession? The name was driving me nuts. So as soon as the episode was over, I Googled it, looked it up, go, oh, hell yeah, that's who that is. So yes, I Googled it as well. And then I instantly tweeted out to Aaron saying, good job. What did I say? I said, this is from Trekyards. I said, brilliant, simply brilliant. This is a perfect episode, whatever I said. I can't remember exactly. But I ended it with, it seems like you might have ... an obsession. Obsession in quotation marks, and then a winky face and a sticky the tongue out face. And he said, thanks. So no, before I sent $2, then felt you. Oh, got you. Yes, I remember the $2 one. Thank you, Tara. Matt Boardman, we still need to do a script read through, and we do of Top Gun. Brandon Carell, Tara, you're not cheap. Anything you're comfortable giving is very appreciated by them. Trust me, Cap will tell you. It's true. We do really appreciate it. We need it. This is how, as we say, we make all this content free to everyone to watch. We have no paywalls. Nothing's hidden behind paywalls. Even on Patreon, there's no Patreon paywall or members only shit. It's free to everybody. We just need support so we can keep doing it, because this is our job. This is what we do. This is how we make our money and our living. So yeah, they're much appreciated, more than you know. Bright Star Line, great episode, probably best of the series so far. Yeah. I'll say something similar tomorrow. I know I will. And Sammy will disagree. Not that he hated it. He liked this. That's fine. But this is more of a fun episode, not necessarily a great solid episode of Star Trek. This is very fan servicey, if you want to use that term, Star Trek, and I'm perfectly fine with that. This is a fun one. This was like Piece of the Action from TOS, you know? It's just fun episode. Nice, which makes me think the next episode is going to be pretty dark, because that usually happens in shows like this. So just imagine what William Shatner's tombstone will look like if they use that style, if it's in writing, the information on it. What style? Fleet, any amount you send is greatly appreciated, Tara. Big or small? Big or small, we love them all. Gene Nowaski Jr., William Shatner, space. Beloved actor. Father and divorce. Space. Oh, those are spaces. Okay. William Shatner. Beloved actor. Father and divorce. Played Captain Kirk. Died. Oh, I see what you mean. Gotcha. Makes sense now. Good Tea Nice House. Those aliens probably have a show on their planet called Trekyards with Captain Steve Foley. Oh, that's funny. Those are my pugs, in case you're wondering. Predict Murph will eat bad MacGuffin. Ooh, eat the weapon. That's a good call. Murph can eat anything. Murph's pretty much just indestructible. So, John Sansone, $10. So, is it canon that the TOS shuttle has warp drive? Yep. I've been saying that for years. In my head canon, it's always had warp drive. As I said earlier, probably very limited speed, as far as like maybe hit warp 3 at the most, and then also very limited run. It can only hold so much antimatter because it's so small. So, you know, warp 3 for 6 hours, warp 2 for 8 hours, warp 1 for 12 hours, and then it's out. That's a nice way to retcon it, that it has warp, but they don't use it that often. It's for emergencies only kind of thing. I like that. And it will also explain Menagerie, where Commodore Mendez and Kirk were chasing the Enterprise. The Enterprise was at warp, going to Talos 4. It didn't make sense that they were chasing it in a shuttlecraft at impulse. So, Gene Nowalski Jr., I would like to see a Star Trek, the animated series, redone by these animators in the style that's being used in Prodigy. That'd be cool. Grant McGregor. So the girl could have went to the K because they landed and wanted to be brave and find the beast or so. That's what she said. She said, Ensign told us to be brave and boldly go or go explore, whatever the hell she said. I just wish the doctor would have said, damn it. Or he couldn't say damn it. He's not dead, Jim. Would have been funny. Something like that. There are a few missed opportunities here. But again, even with the Borg episode, when we did talk to Aaron, there was a lot they wanted to do and include to explain things, but they just didn't have the time. They don't have the time in the episode space. So we need Playmates to do a repop of the Galileo shuttle. Eric Martin, that shuttle class had a warp in the menagerie, didn't it? Never clarified. Never clarified. Just they're chasing the Enterprise. And this was always, me and Samuel kind of fought about this a few times. I'm like, pretty sure it had, limited warp because it was chasing a goddamn starship at warp. Doesn't make sense that it would follow them at impulse. And Samuel's like, I agree, but it doesn't have warp, so that was just stupid of them to leave the starbase at impulse. And then I said, I played devil's advocate, and I said, okay, well, it's just because Kirk wanted to show Spock, you're either going to come back and save my life because we're going to get stranded, or, he's taking a gamble. It's never clarified. BJ Tehran, in the TOS episode The Menagerie, they go chasing after the Enterprise from the starbase. What? No runabout? No runabouts back then. Didn't the shuttle Menagerie have warp? And it was where we fucking go. It's going to be another thing that sticks in my craw for the next fucking 4 or 5 months. I've already explained myself, so. Still would like to see a Playmobil type F shuttle playset. I totally agree, my friend. Joseph Barbato, I still want to see Lower Decks do a Filmation style animated series, time travel to the animated past. I agree. BJ the TOS shuttle had a hyperactive impulse drive. I need a drink. Thank you. That's how I feel, Precious. Good job. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We have 64 people watching with 57 likes. By all means, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 60 likes. Another 3 likes. I think we can do that. Terry, yeah, but did it have a pulse drive? No, just impulse. And a warp pulse. BJ throws in $1, so thank you so much. Eric Martin, the TOS bridge was so iconic. Terry West, look, the shuttle is on Cap's screen, LOL. I know, right? It's how ironic. We're talking about this baby right here. Oh, I didn't turn around in time. Bright Starline wants me to drink. So, Sturm Von Ulk, there is about 30-second delay, so people are hitting the comments essentially the same time you said it. I know. BJ, TOS shuttle ran on beer cans and old bananas fed into Mr. Fusion. That's good. Brandon says, I know everyone says these episodes are short, but this one felt extra short. What's the total episode count for this season? It's supposed to be 20. And season 2 is going to have 20 as well. Having one of those days. I had a busy day. Lots to do. So. Forgive me. Hope none of you think less of me. It is what it is. Federation class Dreadnought, which, speaking of, I won a contest. My Foley class was put in a contest for a free cutaway and like design and all that. And it won. I came in second place to the Chariot class, but the Chariot class guy declined. He figured somebody that appreciated it more should win. He designed it years ago and, you know, gets a little bit of flack for the Chariot design, which is weird because it's a great ship. But anyway, needless to say I won. So instead of getting cutaways of the TOS Foley class, which has kind of been done already from Starship Dynamics, I'm getting cutaways and actually working out all of the final details on the refit Foley class, which is cool. And it's quite a bit different than TOS one. A lot of the systems have been changed. They've learned a lot of lessons with the TOS Foley class. I just want to point that out. And you're like, why? Because there was just a Federation class on the screen, which is a Dreadnought. That's why. And that is the This is Trekyards' work. This is the USS Foley's T-core systems diagnostic. So this is the T-shaped warp core. That's the heart and soul of the Foley class. So Trekyards did that. Trekyards, if you're here, there you go. There was your work. Let's see. It was the Galileo 2 in the Eden episode. Yes, that's why they've kind of speculated that this is between Obsession and The Way to Eden. So the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3. But the Galileo was already destroyed in Galileo 7. So it's a little bit of a hole as well. So Matt Boardman, the episodes really do feel like they go by fast. They do, especially when you're having a lot of fun and really enjoying it like this one. Tara, they go by fast because they're fucking good. Can I curse? Yes, you absolutely can. I do all the time. I don't know if you've noticed. On these lives, I curse a lot. Fleetpaw, they do, but the pacing is spot on in my opinion. Eric Martin, the risk is our business speech. All messed up. Would have been funny. Yeah. Risk is our business. That's what the Starship is all about. That's why we're aboard her. Would you have wished? I don't remember the rest of the speech. Yeah. Terry West. Another Polar Lights is coming out with a repop of their Galileo shuttle with an interior cap. I so need to get one. Matt Boardman, I saw that. That's so amazing to have that opportunity. Yes. Brandon Carell. Yeah, I didn't mean it in a bad way. More like I felt like I blinked and it was over. Mark says, don't think less of you because I am enjoying a cigar. Yeah, I have cigars occasionally too, but this just helps sometimes when I'm stressed. Bright Starline, the TOS Enterprise and Refit are tied as my favorite because I go back and forth with them. That's what I say all the time. That's my favorite answer. Gene Oboski Jr. Stern Von Ox says, James does great work. Yes, he does. We've been working on the ship, and it's awesome. Gene Oboski Jr. The language in our country has changed immensely since 1922, so I think it's okay to give them some leeway on that one. In fact, I'd say that the language has changed a lot in the last 30 years. It has, because I want to ask you a question on accident about my Legos. So you want to ask me a question by accident about Lego. All of your Lego. Okay. Yeah. Trust me, language changing pisses me off. Well, language evolved. Fuck off. No, there's a correct way to say things. Don't get me started on grammar. I need to do a grammar rant. Tara on accident makes me cry. Yes. Well, it's... oh, fuck. On accident. I correct anyone that says it to me because it's just like, it's by accident. But the opposite is on purpose, not by purpose. Wow. That's your fucking reasoning. Okay. And some people that I like watching their YouTube videos. I think they're smart. I think they're creative. I think they're intelligent. I think they're creative. I think these are great people. And then one of their videos, on accident, it's like, oh, just lost a lot of points with me, bud. Stern Von Elk, you should ask him to do the same orientation as a TOS on grid. That is, in t-shirts would be a great t-shirt. Would be. Jonathan Jones, Power to Earth. Donnie Pearson, I myself love the TOS and TMP Connie class designs a little more than the ones in Discovery and Stranger Worlds, to be honest. I love Resurrected Starship's version as well. Resurrected Starship did a great version, yes. Language has changed in the last decade. On fleek, finna. Oh, fuck off. I'm a photographer. I need to know what is going on with Murph. What's going to hatch? Will Murph be some kind of space butterfly? Will there be two Murphs? It won't be a space butterfly. We already seen what he looked like. But you don't watch our lives, so you didn't catch it when we did. It was amazing. It was an on-screen revelation. That's why we're a border. Jonathan Jones, you should really, if you haven't already picked up the Atlas class Dreadnought cruiser on STL, that's a TOS Dreadnought, if there ever was one, designed by Roddenberry and Joffreys themselves. Tara's like, I'm so there for the grammar rant. I do them all the time. Ask anyone here. Ask my moderators. Ask Fleet Pod. Ask Matt. They will verify that grammar. I go on rants about grammar all the time. I just go on tangents about it. And yes, I need to do. I have a series on my Captain Foley personal channel, Tara, which you better be subscribed to. Captain Foley personal channel. That's called Rant Alert, where I rant about things that annoy the shit out of me. So yes, I do need to focus on when I do a grammar one at some point. Mark says I do stuff accidentally on purpose. Gene Owalski Jr., a great example of how language has changed between TOS and now is their descriptions, conditions related to mental health. Yeah, sure. Bright Star Line, people that where I come from say pavilion instead of pavilion. You know what really drives me nuts? Here we go with another grammar one. I hate to break it to all you Americans, but you have a foyer in your house, not a foyer. It is not a foyer, it is a foyer. The R is silent. That's another thing. Every time I watch something American, go to my front foyer and get my keys. What the fuck is a foyer? I don't know what a foyer is. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. Rant in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Initiate. Rant alert. Rant alert, yes. I'm the photographer. Just lost a lot of points with me is a sentence fragment. You're not wrong, but I don't care. Eric Martin, remember TOS Omega Glory where they had the words all distorted? This reminded me of that. Brandon Carell says, haha, I commented this by accident. I like you. By accident is correct. Joseph Terra, the main episode to see that related to this is Obsession, Season 2, Episode 13 of TOS. Yes. Yeah, Tara says, I am not subscribed to that. Just found Trekyards. Oh my god, Tara, you're missing out on so much more Captain Foley. But yeah, Fleet Paw said you can sub here, Tara, and he shared the link. So click the link, open it, new tab, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Gene Owalski Jr., you could also go back and redo the TOS using the buttons from Enterprise and accomplish the same thing. Okay. Ozzy says, be sure you're spelled Khan right, not Khan. Exactly, that's another one. K-H-A-N. And people spell it K-A-H-N all the time. You've seen the name of the fucking movie, right? Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. The fucking correct spelling of the name is in the title. And people still misspell Khan. Gene Walski Jr., did anyone else think at first that these people were the descendants of the children from the Miri episode? Thought crossed my mind once. I'm like, yeah, what if? Jonathan Jones, grammar is a composition of modernity. It is relatively new by comparison, just as nation states, at least the French vocabulary, mon frère, are rewarded for conjunction and inflection. That's deep. Darth Maul, I'm in the US and I've never pronounced foyer any other way than you did. Foyer. Thank you. You're one of the good ones. Bright Starline, and say Sasquatch instead of Sasquatch. Mark, at Terra, wait until he goes on about a season being called a series. Omnitographer, I'm just going to skip right over that one. Omnitographer says, I need to get my friend in here. He's a writer in the language evolves camp and is such a Trekkie. He decided Memory Alpha was lacking and started a competing wiki years ago. The sparks would be Jonathan Jones, unfortunately, or fortunately, we can never be certain, but American English, here we go talking about fucking English. What time is it? 61 minutes. Right at the hour mark. Right at the hour mark is where we go. Great episode. Oh, we're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about grammar. We're going to talk about who knows what. Always at the hour mark. Or just around the hour mark. Within 10 minutes. Project Achieva decimated. Yeah. Decimated is misused all the time. Like in Prodigy, last episode. The relay station is decimated. It's not though. Like, look up the definition of decimated. I can still see a lot of pieces of the space station, including a large chunk of it. Therefore, it's not decimated. And I used to be really bad. I used to be really bad with grammar in high school. I didn't know the difference between there, and there. Until my brother said something to me once. He explained it to me. Made me feel like an idiot. I was a little bit mad for about 10 minutes. Then it just clicked in my brain to get the little whirring going. And it's like, holy shit. Everything makes so much more sense now. So when people misuse there, which happens all the damn time, that also just triggers me. And I want to correct people on it. I want to help people come to that realization. But I correct people and they're like, whatever, man. You're just a grammar police. It's like, yeah, because you should probably learn how to fucking do things correctly and not dismiss somebody that's trying to help you get it right. And I don't do it rudely. I find subtle ways to do it. And I have to correct Samuel all the time. But he just doesn't listen to me and he doesn't learn. Stressing a bit. The capacitive touch panels in TNG moving forward don't make a lot of sense for day use between the current ship. Eric Martin, Tara, ask me what the lithium fuel is cannon. Cannon with 2 N's. You did that on purpose, you bastard. And dilithium is not a fuel. Brits are notorious for pronouncing things however they like. I remember arguing that forte should be pronounced like fort. It depends on the context, I guess. As if the Brit pronunciation should supersede for the Italian word. That's what I mean. It's all about context. Hour-long attention spans. Thesis took me a while to get. Kashink says it was a good episode. It was a great episode. I'm a photographer. What about thar? I use that as I can. Over thar. That's fine. That's like you're a pirate. Arr. That one. BJ says they don't teach grammar in U.S. schools. Becoming less prevalent here as well. And they also don't teach cursive writing anymore, which annoyed the shit out of me. Jonathan Jones, absolutely sit in structure and prefixes aside. On to me, always sounding like the best of Russian and German vocabularies. Firm but fair. Project Achieva, things I learned from Cap. Double cheeseburger is greater than a McDouble. Very true. Decimated is not what you think. Lives devolve after 1 hour. Matt Boardman, Sam's typing in PMs is something of legends. Yes, he deliberately turns off his autocorrect for some reason. To be fair, so does Olivia. I don't want to call anybody out, but Tara, they used to, I'm decent at grammar because of public schools in New York. Yeah, I kind of caught the last little bit of that where they were teaching grammar still to like high school and cursive. I was never very good at cursive. There's a lot of things I wasn't good at in school that I'm great at now. It took me until after high school to figure some of this stuff out, so. Mark, I get so annoyed with there, and there, and when I'm voice texting and it uses the wrong version, I get so pissed when I don't catch it after I send it. I know, you just sound like a dumbass. Project Achieva, isn't it fun that all the regulars here know your triggers? It is fun. It makes your guys' lives more entertaining. If you want to see me rant, all you gotta do is mention one little thing and it's like, it's time for a captain rant. I'm a photographer. I feel like the good captain's life would be less stressful by embracing the concept of dialects and letting folks do as they will with language. I mean, it's not like we're French or something. Sure, some words spoken with an accent are fine to mispronounce. And yes, it is mispronouncing. Jonathan Jones, when I talked, or when you spoke with Jonathan Frakes at a Star Trek convention, he once told me that Gene Roddenberry insisted that 2,000 years from now, nobody would speak English. That was also, 2,000 years we probably wouldn't. You're absolutely right. Gina Watsky, I've always struggled with using proper grammar. I swear I'm the king of sentence fragments. My brain just seizes up sometimes. The worst thing is I'm dyslexic. So reading some of the comments that are misspelled or words that are abbreviated by the autocorrect really annoy me because if I assume something and just read it as I assume it, it's wrong a lot of the time. So I try to read it literally and it just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, with my dyslexia, when I'm tired, sometimes it gets a lot worse. As you can tell on some of these late night lives, you can tell when I'm tired because reading these comments is very difficult for me. So, about dilithium is not a fuel. Paralithium, which was made as another way to have a trilithium in Voyager episode, I forgot the name of. Okay. ID Gaming Federation, you ever think your life would be vastly less stressful if you didn't give a single fuck what others say or do? It seems you are only perpetrating the bullying you received. Yeah, well, no, I never have thought that, so. Tara, I remember diagramming sentences in 7th grade, and I can write in cursive and read a clock's face. Fleetpaw, $5. We can defeat an entire generation with cursive, proper grammar, and stick shift cars. We gather at dawn, left massive. And I got a 6-speed, so. Grant McGregor, sorry, paralithium is a fuel that was somehow warp. I forget if it was just a solar system only ship. Okay, I don't remember that. I'm reminded of that I Love Lucy scene where Ricky explains how broke-ass stupid English is with bow, tough, through, and rough, etc. Yeah, it's English is really stupid, honestly. I was still taught cursive. I use it all the time when I write. And yes, I still physically write with a pen. So do I. I make notes for these episodes while I'm watching them. I write with a pen on a pad of paper, my notes that are down on my desk when I do the live. Samuel does everything on the computer, all those notes on the computer. Different eras. I was still taught cursive. Me seated on a chair in the foyer watching Star Trek canon to you. Merci beaucoup, mon frère. Yep, you're banned now, Bright Star Line. Tara, I don't think we're going to be able to check you on that guarantee. I'm a photographer. I think in a given year, the number of words I write by hand that aren't my name can be counted on one hand. Oh my God. Jonathan Jones, apologies, Tara. My French is like talking to someone from the Middle Ages. I'm 1/16 myself. I have relatives that still live over in Normandy, the town of Valsey. Gene Nowaski Jr., who remembers glitter paint on dune buggies? Mark, I type emails a lot for work, and sometimes the spell checker totally screws up my sentences because I type with old school structure and modern structures are just wrong. Tara, aluminum or aluminium? It's actually spelled them differently, so we pronounce them differently. And my screen has a red squiggly line under aluminium. A language is something that once upon a time was not frozen in stone, and inevitably different pockets and adaptations and various occur that something that is human quality. Okay. Grant McGregor, $5. Oh, wise Captain Foley. Oh, wise Captain Foley, with all the wisdom you've collected, what is exactly warp plasma beyond knowing it's an electroplasma? It's a good question. Warp plasma is what makes the ships go. It is. I am not smart. I do not make us go. Warp plasma does, though. I honestly can't think of a definition of warp plasma right now. I just know my brain just broke for a second. It's like, I just know that dilithium is what causes the focusing of the antimatter-matter reaction into the plasma to create the high energy warp plasma that makes high warp possible. So the hotter the plasma, the higher the warp, I guess is the translation. I don't know. I would need to do some research to do an episode on warp plasma. How dare you call me out? Jonathan Jones, ionized gas of the tailpipe, warp plasma. Brandon Carell, one of my fondest days was when my youngest, who was 10 at the time, asked me why I kept moving that stick in the car. Manual transmission are a dying breed for sure. Gene Waski Jr., spell check always wants to put the F-bomb and S-bomb in the same place of proper grammar I write. The thing is, I don't normally cuss during conversations, so I don't know where that came from. Jonathan Jones, if memory serves correctly, aluminum is actually material's name, and then the American pronunciation, aluminium is the actual material's name, and when the American pronunciation of aluminum was a brand name of aluminium. However, it's like anything else in isolation. Buffalo, 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 buffalo. Okay, what? Bison. We're way off in left field right now. And Terry West, I agree with you about manual transmissions. They're way more fun to drive. You and the machine are one. Project Achieva, the disease in today's episode, was basically radiation poisoning, not unlike what killed Spock in The Wrath of Khan. That string of buffalo is a grammatically correct sentence. Okay, I got to admit, I don't know all my grammar, okay? But I know a lot, and I know enough to help some people out that really struggle with it. But I don't know everything perfectly. I don't know specifically where to put commas, or I do start a lot of sentences with and I know you're not supposed to. And I know you're not supposed to, as you saw. I also, for these live descriptions, a lot of times I'll end a sentence and then put so, and then continue another sentence. And it keeps blue underlining the so. It's like that so doesn't need to be there. And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't. So yeah, I admit I don't know everything about grammar, but I've learned a lot with my dyslexia and my OCD and all that shit over the years. So the OCD is what bothers me when other people do it wrong, when I know the correct answer. So yeah, I admit my grammar's improved a lot over the years. Still not perfect, but it's way better than it was in high school or just after high school. So I'm always improving, always trying to be better. So if I can learn something from somebody, I'm more than happy to listen. It's as simple as that. Enterprise D was a Cadillac, so she was soft flush automatic transmission. Fleet Pal, okay, you're not banned anymore, Bright Star. 6 speed for the win. Terra, transparent aluminum is a real thing now because of Star Trek 4. Well, it wasn't because of Star Trek 4. Much like a lot of things in Star Trek, dark matter and all these scientific things. They're things that are coming up through the pipeline that the writers or the scientists or the researchers that are in charge of getting the information together for these scripts hear about, included in an episode, and then it seems like, oh, Star Trek invented that. Not necessarily. Star Trek just is on the cutting edge of what's coming up in the science fields, and they put it out there. So when it does become a thing, it's like, oh, well, there you go. Star Trek predicted it. So it's not completely accurate, but Stephen Brooks played the character of Ensign Garvik 55 years ago. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 57, I think, due to a heart attack. That's sad. BJ, I find Hello Janeway sounding more real than Admiral Janeway, who I think has more wooden dialogue, like a computer program. We must find those who did this to Chakotay. I agree with you. I actually noticed that in this episode specifically. I noticed how Hollow Janeway sounded a few times, and you're right. They're playing Admiral Janeway like old lady Janeway, which makes sense. I don't know if that's a deliberate thing on Kate Mulgrew's part that she's doing that, but it seems like it for sure, where she's being directed to do so. Small thing, but Eric Martin, Janeway said manhunt. Oh my god. Shouldn't that be them hunt? Jesus Christ. Jonathan Jones, my own ancestor in France during the Middle Ages was Jean-Luc de la Forêt. I just think it's funny he shares the same name with same first name with Captain Picard, ambassador to the Ottoman and Byzantine empires. Or empire, sorry. Maybe it's the tea. She was drinking coffee in this one. She had a coffee mug. Gene Awalski Jr., $5. It was a fun episode. 100% agree. Tara, Foret equals Foray. Mark, I'm getting more and more disappointed with Admiral Janeway. I know. She's had enough people on her ship deceiving her over the years. You think she'd be like, we need to find the answers. We don't need to just go guns blazing. I realize that it's Chakotay, it's her friend. She's needs to find him. But to just assume that these, well, the evidence is stacking up, to be fair. But I mean, that's happened before in Voyager, where she's been deceived. She needs to clue in a little bit and figure things out. Maybe it's them trying to make her battle hardened and they wanted the holo program to be more friendly. Who wouldn't go for a modern animated TOS era series which could feature the Enterprise every now and then, but focus on other ships and installations so we can see what else happened during that era? I would be totally on board with that. 100%. So yes, 1000% yes. BJ, we all drink tea in coffee mugs unless it's Thanksgiving or Easter, so it might still be tea. This is Star Trek. The cup determines what it is. If it's one of the Ractigino cups, guaranteed it's Ractigino. Her coffee mug is definitely coffee. Little Picard tea thing is definitely tea. The Klingon chalice, that's going to be blood wine. You can tell a lot about what people are drinking just by the chalice they're using in Star Trek. Please, 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 more TOS era stuff. Yes. Darth Maul, why doesn't the Prodigy crew hail a Vulcan ship or some other Federation member's ship to arrange a meeting with Starfleet? On the Photographer, we've got hundreds of years between Picard and Disco to explore. Let's explore that. Captain Casey Stewart, is it GIF or GIF? I say GIF. There's only one answer. It's GIF. There is no GIF. Although the creator of what it is says it's GIF. Logically, all indications point to it being GIF. So it is a GIF. There's no other answer. Grant McGregor, $10. Sorry for misspelling your name. Brain is mixing stuff up tonight. From what I gather, the deuterium-based matter and antimatter reaction that creates pure energy, which gets dumped into the plasma. Something like that, yeah. I would need to do research on it to get it actually correct, but yeah. Animated Lost Era show would be sweet, yes. Jonathan Jones, as President of the United Federation of Planets, Terra, I'm sure Captain Foley will agree with me. Romulan ale should be made illegal for consumption. You know why Romulan ale is illegal? Because as soon as it touches your tongue, it permeates the membranes and gets into your blood system. So you basically get drunk instantly. That's why Romulan ale is illegal in the Federation. Murph has eaten enough different stuff over the season you could probably manufacture starships from what comes at the back end. Eric Martin, yes, an unknown alien with mental problems wakes up and you believe every word he says. Jif is a peanut butter. 100% agree. The vessel with a pestle. J graphics interchange format. Or Jaffics, Graphics interchange format. Yeah, exactly. Matt Borman, yes, but you don't want the vessel with the pestle. You want the chalice with the palace, or from the palace. Welcome to English, everyone. Jonathan Jones, it is a curiosity that if we ever did live in one world government, one day that would be the standard language, and what would be the curriculum made to it. It's lexicon and watchdogs. Hey, you have 72 likes. I'm showing 71, but awesome. Can we get 4 more likes? Or 3 more likes, depending on what you see. I see 71 likes, and I don't know, I'm controlling the stream. I see everything, so it's always been... A lot of people got 100 likes. It's like, got 99 on my end, but anyway, yeah. So hit the like button. 4 more people if you haven't hit it. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, because you don't agree with me on grammar. I don't care. Hit like. I'd appreciate it. Not everybody's going to agree with me, and a lot of people are like, you need to relax, dude. Let people do what they want to do. Yeah, fine. People are going to do what they want to do. Still doesn't mean I can't talk about it and express my opinion on it. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Romulan ale should be illegal. It is. I'm surprised someone didn't beat me to it. Without the protostar reference was interesting. It was, yes. Fleet Paw and the brew that is true. I couldn't remember if I couldn't remember it in its entirety, Matt. Jif is a peanut butter the way a McNugget is chicken. I went to 2-ingredient PB, peanuts and salt, years ago and never looked back. Captain Casey Stewart, this week's topic, English language with grammar with Captain Foley. BJ, there it was, Romulan moonshine. Romulan moonshine, twice, a Klingon's thirst. Starfleet swore to get him, but the Klingon got him first. Ballad of Thunder Moon. Grammar's like a blade and edge of a knife or sword. It's only sharpened the more you use it. I am sure wharf, like a wharf, like a dock, boat area, must have struggled intensively in his time on TNG with his bat left. And it has 4 edges. Omnitographer and Tara going at it. Tara, I'm right with you. I love I actually get Kraft peanut butter, the smooth peanut butter. I like the sweet peanut butter, yeah. One that when you open the friggin' jar, you don't have to swirl it around to get all that fucking oil off the top. Like mix it up. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I prefer the sweet peanut butter myself. Nah, still cooking up English with Captain Foley. Gene Iwaski Jr. So on the shuttle in Prodigy, are those hydrogen collectors? Because normally they're not red or reddish-orange, but they are in this episode. Yes, they are. They're still hydrogen collectors. They're still bizarre collectors. Yes, they change color. There have been ships that have blue bizarre collectors. More inside canon, like Starfleet battles and stuff, some of the experimental ships, or the X ships as they were called, all had blue nacelles, or blue bizarre collectors, I mean. It's just what it is. So, Worf, LOL, the spell corrector changed it for me, but still, I always felt like they missed that opportunity with Commander Worf on TNG. They could have showed his integration into Federation society. Yeah. Anyway, back to this episode. It was great. Yeah, and like I said, check out all of our content. We've got content coming out over the weekend. We got 2 reviews tomorrow, the edited review and the live breakdown, full breakdown and review, which will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so check that out. And next week, we're going to have a few lives talking about the TOS stuff this week. We're going to have a lot of small breakdown videos during the week next week. So make sure you stay tuned. Plus, we'll be talking to Aaron Waltke, the guy that wrote this episode, at some point soon about this episode. So look forward to that as well. What was it Data said? What is my name? What is not? Yeah. Pulaski's like, Data. Data. It's Data. Data? What's the difference? One is my name. The other is not. Yeah. Did you notice that the alien building had a very JJ-esque nacelles? Well, yeah, so does the Protostar, though. Knott's Berry Farm. I've never been, but my camp boyfriend gave me his in 1977. Hello. Knott's Berry Farm. Let me tell you a story. I can tell it all about the Vulcan boy who made illegal alcohol. His daddy made the ale, son he warped with the booze. Each time he blasted off, they called it Thunder Moon. At least Michael Dorn, when I met him for the 3rd time at a Trek convention, he always expressed a desire to explore Worf's problematic tension between the Klingon heritage and human foster parents. Tara says, oh, give me his t-shirt. Which t-shirt? Matt Boardman, Not Berry Farms is a ton of fun. And Captain Casey Stewart has had enough, and he's like, night all. Live, log, and proper. And I know this live, log, and proper. I'm gonna Aaron Wolke. I love you, man, but god damn it. 2 years from now, when we're doing a live, somebody's gonna put live, log, and proper, and I'm gonna read it live long and prosper because of my fucking dyslexia, and I'm gonna get called out for it, and I'll feel like an idiot. So. Live, log, and proper. How do you handle the center nacelle illumination on the cooler grills? On the chiller grills? Well, chiller grills are on the side. How do you handle the center nacelle? Nacelle has 2 E's, one at the end. Illumination on the cooler grills. I don't know what you mean specifically by that. Important. Tara, t-shirt thing, not important. Okay, perfect. Nothing's important after the hour mark here. Oh, my goodness. Jonathan Jones. Strictly speaking, though, we all come from somewhere. That's one of the reasons why the undertone of the Star Trek is family. We choose and become the family of all of us, just like here on Earth. Grant McGregor. I forgot to ask this for weeks. Did you notice the Dauntless's transporter was different? Yes, we noticed. Omnitographer. I think it's kept to its roots better than Disneyland. I like that there are still vendors plying their trade and selling their crafts there, for example. Mark, in 2 years you'll be able to do a rant alarm video about live, log, and proper. For you, Captain, live long and prosper. Thank you so much, Bright Star Line. I love you. Omnitographer, Matt Boardman. I say this as someone who has had a Disneyland pass for more years than not in the past 15. Terry says, for a minute I was reminded of the Sigma Iosians from Piece of the Action. Very intelligent and imitative people. Yeah, and in the Worlds of the Federation book, I feel like I need to get that. Hold on. This is actually pretty fun. Stay there. I'll be right back. Down. Come on. All right. So there's a book called Worlds of the Federation. Sorry about my dogs. Where is it here? Don't forget, at the end of a piece of the action, McCoy left his communicator behind with this transstator, which is the basis for all Starfleet tech. Iota M, Oxmix, Sigma Iosha. There you go. Look at this. See this? Similar looking uniforms to Starfleet, but slightly different. I'm going to read this to you. The planet Iosha has become a textbook example of the importance of the Prime Directive. Through an inadvertent act, Iosha's course of history was forever changed by a visit from the USS Horizon nearly 200 years ago. The planet is the second of 9 that orbit a large yellow star. It is the only world in its system capable of sustaining life and harbors a race of intelligent humanoids with a distinct talent for imitation. The Horizon contamination came from a single printed volume entitled Chicago Mobs of the 20s. Accidentally left behind when the starship broke orbit, the book gave a complete history of crime gang rule on Earth in the late 1920s. It soon became the cultural instructional manual for the bright people who felt that stagnation was creeping into their societies. The populace quickly embraced the new crime philosophy, and Iosha became a planet led by gangs and crime bosses as radios, automobiles, and projectile weapons were developed in a burst of technological growth. The planet's official language became English, including the gangland slang commonly used by the historical figures noted in the book. Now here we go. This where it gets interesting. During a second mission to Iosha to undo the damage of the first, the Constitution-class USS Enterprise inadvertently left another article behind that would cause further contamination. A communicator, built using trans-stater physics, was discovered by the Ioshan inhabitants. They quickly abandoned their mobster culture and jumped at the opportunity presented by the new treasure. The next vessel to orbit Iosha the next vessel to orbit Iosha found what at first appeared to be a Federation starbase, complete with uniformed personnel and communications on Starfleet frequencies. The planet is now a Federation protectorate, with a current cultural rating of E+. While the planet is not under quarantine, all visiting personnel must first be cleared through a new orbital customs facility. So yes, very similar styled TOS uniforms, but not quite the same. The pant legs are different. The collars are different. And this is exactly what this episode reminded me of. So. Hashtag facts. Fleet Pass, Swiftback, $2. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Mutiny. Didn't think I'd read that, did you? My girlfriend used to do stunt shows there, and she loved it. I need to get back there. It's been a few years. Tara, I'm going to be in LA in February. I was thinking Griffith Observatory and Getty's. Perhaps Lowbrow is the way to go. You're going to be in LA in February? We're going to be, Samuel and myself are going to be in LA in March. So, yay. Jonathan Jones, I see for that reason I don't understand its outlaw. It's basically the point and purpose to have booze. If you get drunk instantly, it's done its job. That civilization, spacefaring and all. Gene Owoski Jr., we have dumbed down the grammar because the millennial, Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z generations shoved it down our throats because they don't want to learn grammar. Mark says the collar reminds me of the Cage uniform. Yep. Maybe they get some ideas for this episode from that book. Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure Aaron has this book in his collection. He's a diehard Trekkie. Okay, we're not going to get into a fight about grammar and language. Different times, language evolves. I'm just going to have to live with it. It's fine. Back in my day, things were better. Arr. Get off my lawn. Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah. They also did something similar in a Star Trek Online mission for the Kumari. Nice. All right, guys. I think I'm probably going to be winding down here. In short, fantastic episode. The TOS love was spot on. This was their love letter to TOS, and I am all for it. Chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful. Well done. Aaron, you did a great script. There are a few little plot holes and things that bother me a little bit, but we will, do the best we can with those. Grant McGregor, $5. I do want to point out Ensign Garavik may have taught them English without a translator, or they translated his sayings poorly. This is also true. It is a good point to end on. Just want to show you one last thing. In case you're wondering what Ensign Garovic looked like, this is him from the TOS episode Obsession. So I am Ensign, you little baby. So there you go. That's a good thing to end on. Everybody wants to get back to their lives, including my moderators, so I got your hint, Fleet Paw. We'll call it there. We got some scores jumping out at me, which is awesome. But anyway, we're not going to read scores right now. Scores are for tomorrow. So until tomorrow, until you watch the edited one, whether you watch the live or watch it after the fact, please watch it, because there's going to be a lot to talk about and a lot to break down and a lot to point out that you might have missed. Until then, I'm Captain Foley. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for all the likes. 2 more likes, by the way, would be awesome. But what time again tomorrow? Tomorrow it is at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tara. So if you can join us, it'll be me and Samuel's full breakdown. And like what I'm doing my dishes. Yeah. So yeah, if you can join us tomorrow, that would be much appreciated. We do them every Friday. Whenever there's new Trek on Thursday, we always do our live reviews on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there you go. And thank you, Tara, by the way, for subscribing to the Captain Foley personal channel. More subscribers over there are always welcome. And there's a lot of other, I have a lot of interests other than Star Trek. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do. That's kind of where I talk about those things. I do my rant alert videos and, you know, just kind of hang out. So thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, everyone else out there, please do so. We hit 75 likes, so thank you guys. Much appreciated. And until next time, like I said, I'm Captain Foley. What should I? Live long and prosper. Don't.